Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, beautiful souls. My name is Francine, and this is my channel, The Hermetic Herald. I'm here for another video. I'd like to see what Spirit has to say to the collective today. I felt like the collective has a lot of messages coming through. There's so many people here on YouTube, but I feel like I'm here to specifically speak to and cater to a smaller group of individuals. I think that those individuals will be the ones that resonate with this message. Of course, we always have this saying of what doesn't resonate, don't take, leave it for someone else. I want you guys to really just tune into your intuition, to your mind, to your heart space as you listen to this message and see whether I'm the reader or the person that is best catered to your energy. So with that being said, I want to let you know, just as a disclaimer, there may be triggers throughout this message as I do touch on a lot of topics that are a little bit more heavy, and because of that, a lot of shadow work is going to come through this message. It's going to be involving a lot of triggers involving whether it be abuse through verbal abuse, physical abuse. It could be just, there's so many different things that Spirit likes to touch on with the group that I speak to, because you know, with me having my Pluto in Scorpio, I have a lot of this energy of dealing with triggers, dealing with things that come as they go. And so I want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. I don't want anyone to listen to this message if they're not ready for it. So please maybe put this on hold for a little bit if you feel drawn to it, but not prepared for what could come through. And so I think I'm just going to get right into it and see what Spirit has to say for you guys. If you are interested in my content, definitely check out my bio. I'm new to this channel, new to YouTube in general. I used to have a small channel called Manifold Destiny. So if you're interested in my content, check me out and I will, get to know all of you, hopefully, if you reach out. So let's get started, okay? Spirit guides, angels, ancestors, thank you so much for the messages that are going to come through for the collective today. Spirit guides, angels, ancestors, please guide me in understanding exactly what messages are meant to come through for this collective in particular. And let's see, Spirit guides, see what comes through here. What's interesting is I'm getting the word potpourri, which is interesting. It's like there's a celebration Spirit wants to highlight here. There's like either you're working with the material, you're doing something, preparing for a celebration of some sort, maybe a birthday party or something that's really exciting, but there's a need for you to know that there's a celebratory energy coming through. Okay, and it is 404, which is interesting. So I feel like Spirit's highlighting 4 for you guys. There's a lot of stability coming in as well. Okay, so let's see what's coming through. At the bottom of the deck, I was really drawn to take the card, and it was Temperance as I was shuffling. There's a lot of things that are coming into balance for you. I know that that sounds like a very cliche thing, but specifically, there's an energy of you coming through and coming round. I'm hearing coming around the mountain, like coming through the trials, tribulations, through the mountains, through the valleys, and you're coming into more of who you are as an individual and as a soul. I feel like the 4 of Cups was your energy previously, where you were just sitting and trying to understand, trying to contemplate the things that you were given. The 4 of Cups usually comes after the 3 of Cups, which is this energy of celebration with loved ones, with soul tribe, with people that you resonate with, but then not understanding why things may have taken a turn. There may have been some people you met and then you kind of left. I'm hearing sometimes you move from one place to the other. I have a very similar story with that, where you meet your soul tribe, but then you're immediately put into a place of now what, of wondering what's next. There's got to be more than this. There's a sense of not feeling enough, like contentment with what life has at this moment in time, or at least in the past. And now you're seeing the 2 of Cups. You're seeing divine partnerships come into effect. Typically when divine partnerships come in, there's something that's leaving. So there may be this energy of you feeling like the people that you were resonating with at one point are no longer resonating for you, and that's normal. That means Spirit is trying to bring people that are going to resonate with your energy. Your own energy, your own vibration is changing. We have the 8 of Wands, which means there's a lot of steady and fast movement, if you guys can see that. You're kind of taking off with that energy, taking off to the next step, to the next thing. It's like an engine. It's like a train, and like you working on the engine. You're making sure that it's ready to go each stop, each station. Okay, there's something, there's an energy, and for some reason a message with regards to trains, with regards to engines. Someone here is probably keen on cars, keen on understanding mechanics, and they're using that to help me explain this message. We have here the King of Wands. It's about taking on something, whether it's entrepreneurial or it's something that requires a lot of forward movement, fast movement, making decisions, you know, executing things, executing them seamlessly. Okay, so there's a lot of fire energy and a lot of water energy. Of course, everyone's on here saying you can embody these things, but that you don't have to be those signs. But I'm seeing mostly fire and water. Okay, at the bottom of the deck is another wands, our 4 of wands here. So there's something about celebration, as I was saying earlier, is what I was feeling. I want to see if Spirit has anything to say in regards to your healing process. Where are you at right now? Spirit guides, angels, ancestors, thank you so much for this time, this energy. Some of you guys have a meeting coming up for some reason. I feel like that's probably something you're trying to figure out, is how is this meeting going to go? How is this meeting going to go? And Spirit wants to talk about that in regards to work, in regards to some job or some opportunity. You may have an interview coming up as well. Spirit guides, angels, ancestors, what would you like to say to the collective here? So at the bottom we have integration, which is what I was feeling. You guys are integrating your past energy of not feeling like you can understand what is going on in the grand scheme of things, but you're coming into an understanding of what that looks like. We have here 22, so we had 33 at the bottom, and now we have 22, and that is transformation. We have scorpionic energy coming through. Next thing we have is inner journey, number 35. Okay. And then we have psychic development. So the people that are going to resonate with this message are esoteric. They're very involved in the esoteric studies. They're very involved in the occult, and they're interested and focused in highlighting on their inner journey, your psychic development, your ability to move through your ascension process. Okay, so Spirit really wants to highlight your ascension process and your spiritual development for us. You guys likely had a very strong relationship in the past with Metatron, Archangel Metatron, because you were starting out your journey. Likely you could have even started out your journey this year, because the number 22 is being highlighted here, where you started coming into this this place of stability either in 2022 or you're coming into that this year. A lot of you started something in 2022 that Spirit wants to highlight here. You guys might feel overwhelmed a little bit because of how it feels like everything is coming into place all at once, but you're not seeing it yet. And Spirit wants you to know that it's a part of your development, and there will be a time in which you're able to kind of allow everything to come into play, and all the pieces. Those pieces will come together very soon for you, actually. Don't worry about, or don't feel like you're going to be in this position of feeling like everything's kind of chaotic. Things are coming into piece by piece. Everything is coming into fruition. Is there anything you'd like to highlight for the collective here? We have the 3 of Pentacles. So there's a creative endeavor that you guys are working on with some individuals here. And these people are going to be people from your soul tribe, and you're going to feel a sense of calm and a sense of excitement at the same time. Calm in that you trust the situation, and then excitement because you just know that these people are meant for you and you've been waiting for them. You're so excited for that. with the Four of Cups earlier, you were feeling kind of complacent. You were feeling like, you know, when they're able to come, I'd like that to happen, but I don't know when. And Spirit is trying to highlight that you are going to encounter a lot of success with this group of people, with the Six of Wands at the bottom. I feel like Spirit wants me to kind of go into more of my experience, because I feel like you're going to resonate with that. This channel is going to have tarot, but it's going to be primarily on my experience as well. So it's kind of going to be like somewhat of a blog. In 2020, for me, I had a huge ascension process take place, because, you know, during COVID, everyone was kind of just figuring things out. We were all shocked at the way things had gone, the things that were happening. They were like happening so rapidly, and it had never happened like that, at least not in my life. And so I feel like a lot of people were just trying to figure out, like, how do we make this new normal work for us? How do we make this work? Because now a lot of us are at home. Now a lot of us can't do the things that we used to do. Now we're gonna have to, you know, we're in a room confined with these people in our family, and we don't know what to do. We don't know how to get away and how to take the time out to appreciate a break. We feel, you know, a lot of us felt overwhelmed, and a number of us felt like we were just in a pressure cooker, is what I'm visualizing. And with all that pressure, there came something pure out of that, and that was a desire either for something new, a desire for something better, a desire for more of something that we missed, which was family, which was spending time with our loved ones, which was spending time with ourselves. And I feel like that was my journey. That was my experience. I had to take the time away from my job at the time, my 9-to-5 job, in order to really recalibrate and say, I want to do something that actually satisfies my soul. I want to do something that actually is what I want to do. You know, I don't want to have money be the reason and the end all be all for me. I want it to actually be what I like doing. So for me, it had been pulling at my heartstrings, like Spirit, my intuition was telling me, like, you're not meant to do this for long, you're not meant to do this. But I kept coming back to the idea of a 9-to-5, because I felt like that's what makes sense. That's what the world, you know, sees, and that's what they accept. That's how I'll make my money. I mean, that's how I know it's guaranteed. Every 2 weeks, I know at least I'll get something in the bank. I'll have something to make ends meet. And for me, that was so stressful, having that, the conflict, the inner conflict of not knowing whether or not I was gonna have enough, feeling like I couldn't trust that my gifts and my skill sets on this platform or on any would be enough for me to make ends meet. So I held off, I held back. I said, okay, well, I'll just do this on the side, and then I'll continue doing that. Spirit and my intuition, my higher self was like, you're not going to be able to do that. When you focus in on yourself and on your soul and your convictions, sometimes things are going to be literally pushed out of your way, and there's no way you're going to be able to even look back on the things that you used to enjoy, the things you used to like, the things you used to accept. You're going to like feel this sense of urgency. And for a lot of people, there are a lot of people that felt that sense of urgency and took that as a stepping stone to creating their own business, to creating their own future, their own image of what they want to do and what their heart is leading them to. And a lot of you here are going to have this pull towards something that involves a soul tribe, that involves you working with a group of people that are geared towards the esoteric, towards the studies. I'm hearing cerebral, so like very cerebral individuals, but people who are also spiritual. There's going to be a need for you to recognize that you can have this, that you will have this, and that it is your reality. It doesn't have to be what others are doing because it's tried and true. You know, we see things that people do and they consistently are doing it, and we think, okay, because that I know I can guarantee that I will get this and that. Don't do something just for the guarantee of it. Do it because your intuition is telling you, because I am telling you, you will not be happy with staying in the same old thing day after day and not being happy about it. It's not worth it to sit at an office if this is something that's not for you. Of course, some people love this, but if this is something that you do day in and day out, and you say the reason why I'm doing this is because of my children or because of my my parents or because of my family members or because of anyone. Where is the space for you? Because in that, you are not going to be happy. You need to understand that yourself is worth nurturing. It's worth giving yourself a chance, not dismissing it because you feel like everyone needs you. What kind of version are they getting of you if you're not up to par with yourself? If you're not even happy with you when you look in the mirror? What version of that are you giving to them? And what are you saying to them? This is what they deserve. This is what they should have. Is someone who's not happy with themselves, but is doing it because they feel an obligation to do it. I understand responsibility, but being unhappy and showing it to everybody and being cranky and irritable and mean to people is not the way to live, you know? And you can try your best, be the nicest person out there, but if you're unhappy, we can see it. We can see it, and it's just, I think I have to be direct with somebody, and I feel like being direct is so important in this society, in this world, in this reality, because if we just are trying to be nice every second and just trying to kind of say, it's okay, being complacent never got someone anywhere. It depends on where you're at and the level of strength to that message. You know, in the beginning, it's like we give people and like we give our friends and family a little push, like, I think this is something you should do. But when spirit is urging you, like I'm getting this urge from this particular group of people, spirit has already made this known to you, okay? So I feel like spirit has already said this to you. You already have this conviction that you're going to be working in a group of people, individuals that are very keen on creating something, manifesting something. I feel like this cyclical and this energy of like fun, okay? It's like not just work, it's play. It's enjoying what you're doing and what you're creating. And there's a sense of like you seeing work as something different, not seeing it just as a way to make your bills, you know, to pay your bills, but something that you actually enjoy. A lot of people on this platform and elsewhere have fallen into this pattern of looking at their time on YouTube and their time on social media as a job and have lost their fun, lost the desire, lost the intrigue, lost even the guidance from spirit in the process of trying to make ends meet. So they're basically taking what they understood from their 9 to 5 and they're putting it into the esoteric. And that is like the worst thing you can do. The worst thing you can do is not rest and relax and allow yourself to open up to what spirit is telling you to do and what spirit is guiding you to do for people. The worst thing you can do is bring that energy from a 9 to 5 that you're unhappy with to other people in their spiritual development. You must spend time resting. You must spend time with yourself. You must spend time growing and healing in the process of healing, or not healing others, but bringing that energy to others. What you take in is what you give out. And I'm learning this constantly. Constantly I'm having to check in with myself. And if I don't check in with myself, I end up like sleeping all day or like just so cranky or just so irritable. And I can't do videos. I can't do anything until I get to the bottom of that feeling. And I feel like your guides are already giving you that inclination that any irritability or any feeling of disappointment, of feeling like a sense of lack, of feeling demotivated, there's a need for you to fill your cup up because you have so much to give to the collective. You have 4 cups here that you're not looking at because you're looking at the ocean, okay? The ocean is endless. Spirit is everywhere at every time, in every place, no matter how it looks, light and shadow, they're one. You have so much to tap into, but you're looking at that without seeing yourself, seeing what you have and what you've brought to your life at this point. There's a need for you to see both, okay? So Spirit wants you to see as below, as above, so it's as below, so above, okay? So Spirit wants you to see what you have currently in the 3D and what is with you in other realms as well. There's a need for you to see both. So someone here needs to hear that. Okay, you're going through an inner journey an inner transformation. I'm hearing picking up the pieces. You're picking up the pieces of the things that that you've brought with you to this point in your life, and you're building upon that. And they're solid. So don't think about the pieces individually. Think about how they come together and how they exist, how they coexist. There's a need for someone here to see all of what they have done and to actually acknowledge it and say, that is an awesome job. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that. Not, oh, it wasn't that much. Dismissing yourself, dismissing the great things you've done and the partnership that you're having with yourself. Okay, because there's like this alliance between your masculine and your feminine, and you're coming into an understanding of how you can act and how you can really exude the confidence in your craft, in your whatever you're building, and you can also see it come to fruition, and how they're one. They're not just separate. You don't have to be in your masculine or feminine constantly or try to intentionally ignore one or the other. It's a balance of the two. Some of us are just more geared towards one or over the other, but you're tapping into both. You're tapping into the energies of both. And Spirit really wants to highlight the energies of both. That you may even just have males and females as well. Whatever you consider to be that energy, it doesn't have to come in the form that you expect, but you're going to be coming into the fold with other people that embody another part of the energy that you create together and that you combine. There's going to be communication with some of you. Weirdly enough, I'm hearing softcore, so like you might have like a quick conversation with somebody, right, that sparks your interest, or you might have a quick exchange with somebody and it's going to spark some movement. You might even I'm thinking of a show that I've been watching. I watch Korean dramas. I watch like a number of things. If you guys resonate with that, definitely comment below. But I watched something recently with my boyfriend, and it was really funny. It was, they were actually outside and they were talking about their projects, and they were so frustrated with something that was going on. And as they spoke to someone from another department, so it was two different departments, one was talking about their issue and the other person was able to talk to them like nonchalantly about it, and they were able to see it from another perspective. So there's a need for you to see something from another perspective here, and I feel like you're going to take on that perspective that you got from somebody, and it's going to help you acquire an understanding of what to do next. And then you're going to feel like you're on fire, and you're going to feel so influenced by that perspective that someone else is going to bring to you, and you're going to be able to lead from that place. And you're going to have an expectancy, I'm hearing, an expectancy and an answer. It seems like you might have asked someone a question. If you've asked someone a question about something or have sent an email asking and inquiring about something, you will get an answer for it, and you're going to get it very soon, very quickly, quicker than you expect. It's so varied that I can't give a specific number, but I see here, like the wind, you guys are taking off here. You guys are taking off in so many directions. So I don't know why someone's mentioning, I'm hearing like someone might be in like the medical field. And with the message I said earlier, go with where your heart is leading you. But I think that you should only do something and pursue something that you're passionate about, and not for the sake of others, because there are pros and cons to what we do. One of the cons would be going into med school and not really wanting to be there, and then spending and acquiring so much debt. Someone here might be going through an inner journey of understanding the information that they've acquired from their medical training and how they can use it in the esoteric. So there's some of you that have come from a medical doctor perspective through your schooling, and now you're coming into an understanding of your psychic development, and that is helping you create some kind of business as well. So there's spiritual development within your business because of what you've experienced in your college experience, okay? Spirit's also highlighting here this cloud here. For some reason I see it as umbrellas. I'm seeing here like you being covered and protected in the process of transformation, And there's been a lot of grace is what I'm hearing as well throughout your process. As a caterpillar here, just taking in what you need to in order to produce the result of becoming a butterfly. It's like Spirit is hiding you and protecting you for the moment in which you emerge as a butterfly. There's a need for you to trust that Spirit is giving you all of these leaves. They remind me of riches. You know, when you think of what you need, this caterpillar is only pursuing what they need in order to acquire the end result of becoming a butterfly. So remember that everything that you need within this cocoon that is your experience in your life, Spirit is providing you with all of those things, and it's gonna come in as needed, as needed, as needed. It's gonna come in as needed, and you're not gonna have to ask, is what I'm feeling. You're not gonna have to ask for it because it's already expected of you. Some of you might be asking something over and over, and Spirit is trying to say it's coming to you, and it is coming to you. I told you. You know, it's like you have to have a sense of expectancy that it's coming, because it's definitely here for you. I'm getting strongly the number 6 as well. So 6 is going to be relevant to someone if it's either life path 6, or you're going through a very, it's like I'm hearing your calibration of your relationships. So the relationship here is, there's a very strong relationship that's being aspected here. Ooh. And I want to really highlight Mott here for the Temperance card. Things are coming into balance karmically for you as well. There's a balancing of the rights and wrongs that have happened to you or that you've experienced in the past. And you can be sure that the well springs of life are not excluded from you, is what I'm hearing. It seems as though Mott has a peacock feather here. Peacock feathers I just looked into actually. Depending on the tradition, on the culture, some say it is a great way of warding off evil because of the eye on the end of the peacock feather. Some say, you know, it's understanding and balancing out the karmic energy that you've experienced in life. I feel like a lot of you are also balancing out your karma in regards to relationships. We have here the 5 of Pentacles. See if you can see that. The energy is touching on the lack mentality. You can see here this person has 2 pentacles above their reach, and they're looking down at 3 in the water here. 3 that they've lost, or feel that they have lost or have been left out from receiving. What I also noticed, and what's interesting that I've never noticed before, is that there's 3 plants budding. Can you see those 3? So Spirit is highlighting those 3 small ones at the bottom as your ideas that were planted, that you didn't see it come to fruition, but you saw something that you thought was in the way grow bigger and bigger as they grew smaller, which is interesting. I've never seen that before, but Spirit is highlighting that you may have had maybe 3 endeavors, 3 channels, 3, it's like that 3 is coming up again that came up before in another reading. There's something that you started, you planted it 3 times, or you did 3 times, and Spirit is trying to highlight that as big as this is going to become a source of shade, or something that will give you an edge or some kind of benefit. So the 3 things that you were trying to grow and you were trying to manifest here for yourself, Spirit is highlighting that you need to look at the thing that came out of it and see how huge it is in the scheme of your life. There's one thing that came out of those 3, and it produced beautiful things in your life, but you're not seeing it because you're so focused on how it didn't work out for those 3 individual things, but they produced something that is not physical in you. Spirit, what do you want to say about that? We have a 6 of Wands again. So it produced something that's very successful for you. I'm feeling this card, and that's the Hierophant. You learned something about it. That's about a higher level of learning, an understanding of something, of being an expert in something because of what you went through. I'm feeling this card strongly. We have the 8 of Cups. There's something here. there's something here that gave you an out. And what I mean by that is when you tried to create and manifest three things, or these individual enterprises, Spirit created something bigger for you, something great for you in the midst of that. And now that's going to be what helps you move out of this energy of lack. You're going to take the coins. For some reason, I'm seeing pentacles, even though these are cups. You're going to take the beautiful things you've acquired from this past endeavor, and you're going to be able to manifest something new and walk into it. So it might mean that something like monetarily came from something that you did, and even though it wasn't as much as you wanted it to be, it was just enough in order for you to then move forward into something else. For me, when I was moving out of my old residence in 2020 and moving to a new state, it required so much faith and trust. But you know, when I was trying to get things in order, and I left my job, I left everything I knew for my entire life to go pursue this one thing in a new state that I just felt drawn to, Spirit has even now given me an idea of why I felt so drawn to this place. So that's 3 years later. So Spirit might be doing that to you just now, even, where you're just feeling like now you're having this passion for something, and now things are starting to add up and make sense for you. There's something about you waiting, and in the waiting, you experiencing something that was very, very integral in your inner journey. Maybe you met people along the way that were very integral into your journey. The number 3 and 5 are highlighted here, which is about transformation and about a lot of change going on in your life. So there's a lot of passion here. What's interesting is the number 5 is at the bottom as well. So it's a lot of transformation, a lot of fighting through tougher energies or denser energies in order to acquire your passion, and also to go through some emotional regulation. And I'm hearing stamina. In order to take on what you're doing now, you had to go through a lot of things for the past couple of years. For me, it was 3, and for you, I feel as though some of you have been going through something in 3s. Either it's been 3 years, or you've gone through it for 3 months, but I feel like it's longer than 3. It's longer than 3 months. It's definitely more than that. It could be just 3 years. And now you're going into like a balancing act. It could be 6 years for some of you, because this card was coming through very strongly for you guys. So now you're balancing your karma, you're balancing the lessons that you learned, and now you're creating and you're pouring your cup into other people, into other things. And you're tapping into your intuition here more and more as each day goes on. I feel like I should get the other 2 cards. You guys might be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Because there's a slow and steady energy about this journey here. You may feel like you want it to pick up. It is picking up. It's just that you're going to be seeing a consistent flow of income, a consistent flow of resources coming through you and to you from this endeavor. And we have the Queen of Wands. So we have the King of Wands and we have the Queen of Wands. That balancing of the masculine and feminine energy in regards to your business and in regards to your enterprise. You guys have also this knack for making things really beautiful, because I'm seeing the flowers being highlighted. You might have also gone through a balancing effect with your sacral chakra, which is about like creativity, sexuality. It's being highlighted here in the flowers. So I'm feeling also like a lotus energy, like you coming out of the muck, of the dirt, of feeling like less than what you really are, feeling less than, but becoming into more of who you are and the passion that you have to give to your enterprise, to your skill sets. I feel like you guys are also probably wearing more red and oranges because of it, because intuitively those colors are tapping into your sacral energy, your sacral chakra. And I feel like that also, if you're not doing that, you should do that as well. So I'm tapping into the red here. So I feel like I need to show you guys that picture one more time. Look at how beautiful that dress is. I feel like some of you are starting to dress up. Some of you are starting to look and highlight even your legs here. I feel like someone here is starting to see how beautiful they are, and their legs, and they're letting that part of their body become a highlight. I'm getting a Hebrew name, Afat. Ashafat. And it sounds really funny, probably to some people. But someone here has like a Hebrew type energy or background. You might just be, you might resonate with Hebrew for some reason. I'm getting that. Very beautiful name, but it's Hebrew in origin. And I'm getting just the letter A, the letter P-H-A-T, and that's why it's coming through like that when I said it. Someone here has, it could be Esther. Someone here is an Esther, or like there's like a beautiful name coming through and I can't say it. It's like Arabic or it's Hebrew. And those are two separate, two completely different things. But Spirit is highlighting it to me that way. I feel like here, with the Ten of Wands coming through, as a child, you felt like you had to take on the burdens of other people. I'm feeling strongly like someone here had to take on a lot more than they should have as a child. For some reason, your childhood is being highlighted here. And it left you feeling like you had too much to do in order to really pursue your gifts and to pursue your dreams. You were in the Eight of Swords energy a lot, where you felt like you were taking on other people's traumas, other people's problems, other people's mental issues or disorders, feeling like you had to creep around or tiptoe around other people's traumas in order to understand how you can live life and live it without having people at your throat, There's a lot of dense energy with this card here. You felt like you were just merely living in this world just to live in it to please other people. You feel like the person I'm talking to here felt like they are now coming into more of their truth and confidence and clarity, but they had a lot of things to go through and muster up the courage to pursue understanding it. There was a lot of mental healing. Sometimes you find yourself in a block because it's so easy to get into that state of mind of kind of going and muddling over things over and over obsessively. I'm getting Gemini energy, very mercurial energy. It could be Virgo or Gemini, and you had a lot of indecision coming through and playing out in your life, and you had to kind of say, some of you guys are even like have like the sense of like going to words of affirmation in order to uplift yourself, because you felt like you had so many things going on in your mind that were trying to deflect you or trying to knock you off course, but you stayed on course is what I'm hearing. And I'm very proud of you, and Spirit is giving me this feeling of that because they're proud of you. Someone's guides are very proud of them, very protective of them, and want to talk to them specifically about their challenges. You took on a lot of dense energy in order to acquire what you're having in this life, and it's a very wow. This is your crowning moment is what I'm hearing. You need to allow yourself to enjoy what's coming to fruition for you, and that the dense energies you're feeling, when you deal with them and you allow yourself to kind of get clarity and start to come back to self, back to source, back to your higher self, you will then have insight into those things. There's a need for, I don't know why I'm doing this. You might have felt like a loser. Maybe you felt like people were always attacking your mindset or attacking your intelligence. Spirit wants you to know that your higher self knows all. So if you ever have any questions, ask Spirit, ask yourself, your inner God, your chi, your higher self for understanding to the situations that you're going through. I feel like some of you need to know that. I'm also drawing and tapping into more of the energy of my ancestors who are Igbo, and I feel as though they're trying to tell this collective that you may also have some past life in it, or you have this understanding that your higher self has the answers you seek. Your higher self has the answers you seek. You see how they're wrapped up in each other? The answers that you're looking for are within you, okay? They're not within another person, although they can come and manifest in that way. Spirit wants to highlight that they're within you, literally. Like you have the answers already, and your inner world is already making plans for you. They're already conjuring up all the plans that you need. is already in you. And I know that sounds cliche. Someone needs to recognize how powerful they are and that they don't have to rely on an outside source for what's inside of you, because our spirit guides and our spirit team and other people, they're a reflection of us. We are all one. We are not as separate as we think. And that's why I don't like going into labels. I feel like going into labels too much separates you from other people. I think by knowing the power that your inner self, your higher self has, will help you regain stability in your surroundings and in your life. The Knight of Wands was trying to come through. It's this young energy, this energy of taking things on, taking the bull by the horns, having this like energy of I'm going to prance around and I'm going to show people who I am, because its essence is God itself. Who I am is beautiful because it is a part of the collective, and the collective experience matters. Justice. You're doing yourself a justice by showing people who you are no matter what, because that is who you are. That is how great you are. We have the Hermit as well on the bottom of the deck. Inner wisdom, introspection. Your inner understanding is very powerful and is true. And I feel like we get muddled by a lot of doubt and by other factors, but I don't think you have to recognize that your higher self is telling you the truth, and it's not wrong, okay? I'm also getting a sense that someone needs to stop looking back at their past and saying, I was such an idiot, I was such a this, that, and the other, and having this mental torment with how they addressed things in the past. The way you address things in the past was it was with what you had. Don't look at yourself as you are now and look down on who you are then or who you were then, because you are all of those things. We grow as we get older. We grow up, or grow up in a manner that is better. You know, when we heal, as we continually heal, we're becoming more and more of who we are. We're opening up to our inner child. We're letting ourselves be. But I feel like someone here needs to stop looking down on who they were. Okay, stop like spending too much time putting yourself down, especially if you're doing it in front of other people, because you're allowing them to have that energy of, you can talk about myself all you want. You can talk about how negatively I acted and was back in the day. Don't spend too much time on your past self. Someone here is living in the past a bit more than they should be. We also have here strength. So someone here is learning control, controlling the mind specifically, and seeing the power of something so beautiful as this lion here, and not closing its mouth, not trying to hurt it, not trying to silence it, but holding it and saying, I see who you are, and I see that you took me this far. And there's someone that needs to see that they were taken this far because of the will of the power of their will. Don't look at yourself negatively and think less of yourself because of how far you've come, and what it's like, what parts of your journey you took maybe over and over. Don't beat yourself up because you had to go through something 3-4 times, okay? You were true to yourself when you went through them. It's better you go through them and then get out of them than you not go through them and then you constantly think about how you wish you had gone through them. I mean, it's more freeing to know that you've done it and you've dealt with it and you're moving forward, okay? Someone needs to know that. And I feel like Spirit wants to mention something else. I'm getting the number 16, so that resonates or might resonate with someone here. The number 16. I see your discernment. You guys are getting stronger in your discernment, your ability to see things from a higher perspective and to see things with a larger understanding of how everything falls into place. You don't have to have it all You don't have to feel the pressure of knowing everything and doing everything yourself. Okay, people are here for you. Spirit, is there anything else you'd like to say? Someone here is also, what's interesting is I'm getting, you see how there's a 9 and a 6 here? Or, I can't even do this. Oh, wow. Okay. The numbers, the Roman numerals here. You see how they're IX and then XI? It feels like someone here is a Cancer. So that might resonate with someone here. I don't know why. That specific person needs to hear that. So I'll leave it at that. Or someone here, yeah. 11 is new day. There's a new day, there's a new dawn, and I'm feeling good. I'm hearing that song. I think someone here is just having this reflection of their transformation, of seeing how how things are manifesting for them, and they're seeing it with new eyes. They're seeing that every day is a new day, and that there's an excitement coming, and that if you don't feel that excitement, it's meant for you. You're not meant to just sit. It's like you need to really allow it to sit and settle in, that you have come so far and that you've done so much in the time that you've had, and that there's so much to be happy and thankful for. And there's a lot of gratitude in having this new day and of seeing things with new light and a newer understanding and perspective. Okay? Coming into the fold of what this channel is meant to be, you know, with the Hermit, with understanding and introspection, I've spent my time, you know, looking into things and delving deeper into things. And I have literally like all of this information that Spirit has brought me and that my higher self has brought to my understanding and my recollection from past lives that I have to share with a lot of people. There's a lot of things, predictions, there's a lot of experiences that I've had through the Akashic Records, and it's coming into my reality because I'm now tapping into that gifting that I have that is in everyone. And I feel like I'm here to speak that out so that people know that it's definitely not just you, and it's not something that you should hide or something that you should be ashamed of or doubt. There's a need for someone to know that you are meant to hold a certain place within the collective. And I feel like I hold a certain place within the collective in regards to my past experiences. So the Hermetic Herald, I feel like I have to kind of share that with you guys, and you'll come to understand it if that is something you're meant to. But I'm meant to speak about a number of different paths people have taken. And I feel like a lot of you here are older souls, and that's why I feel like I need to share that. It's like you guys are transmuting all of the energies that you've experienced, all of the karma. I'm hearing alchemy. You're alchemizing it. You're creating something that's beautiful, a solution to problems that people are having in this day and age. And you're coming to a solution of how you can help other people collectively. So a lot of us are linking up and coming together, and I think that's really cool. So if you guys have that feeling, definitely comment below and let me know who you are, because I feel like this group of people are going to come to me slowly, potentially. They're going to trickle in, but I feel like this message is, since it's timeless, I will still be able to see that. It's something that I'm excited to talk and embark on with you guys. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Spirit, through me? Integration has come back again, 33 and 6 here. In this integration that you guys are doing, you are speaking out as this bird is. And that's why I feel like this channel is called the Hermetic Herald. It's like I'm speaking out about the things that have been coming through my time of deliberation and introspection. The Hermit energy. What I have seen, what I have heard, what I have understood, I am bringing out into the open, and the people that are meant to hear are going to be encouraged and also receive downloads or receive an understanding through someone else mentioning it. And every person has a way and a manner in which they can express something. Don't think that because someone said it before that you're not worthy to say it, or that you're saying it like everyone else. You have a manner in which you say something that needs to be said whether it's with humor or whether it's with analogies that people don't usually use because they think it's too cerebral. There's a lot of people that are intellectual, that are meticulous, that are perfectionists, that need to come out and speak out with force, with strength, and confidence. Okay? Is there anything else that I need to say, Spirit? Let's see if anything else needs to come through for you guys. La force, strength is coming through. Leo energy as well. Someone here needs to allow themselves to be like a peacock. They need to let their feathers out. They need to let people see them for who they are. I'm hearing vast feathers. Like your feathers are vast. You've had so many experiences, so many things to share with people, and it's not meant to stay in your head. It's meant to go out. Here's the King of Wands again. And here's that mental torment. Don't be tormented anymore, guys. There's a need for you to act on something and to not allow something mentally to make you feel like you need to jump through hoops in order to acquire what you have to give. There's a new, either a venture that you're trying to start, or there's something that you're learning and studying that you need to allow yourself to study that's competitive within the collective, within a group of people. Some of you guys are going to be studying archaeology and you don't know why, or you guys are studying something that's lost to time is what I'm hearing. Something that's lost to time. Something in relation to cosmology as well. You're learning something that is not as common but is competitive because you know it and not many people know it or understand it. Some of you are cosmetologists as well, and you have a way and manner of accentuating people's faces or their auras even in a way that is very, wow, that isn't degrading is what I'm hearing. Or it is. It's like it's like you either can create something that's very like haunting or something very beautiful in the hauntingness of it. I don't know how to describe what I'm hearing. It's like you have a way of making things that are very scary, beautiful for people to see it as beautiful, because a lot of people think that things that are haunting are evil and that they're not beautiful in some form or fashion. But you're making people see it and see the shadow of something makeup related. They're seeing it now beautiful, and they're seeing it as something that's haunting and yet mystical and beautiful and profound. Someone needs to hear that. And someone's also seeing how what they've given out to the public is being given back to them. I'm being very drawn to this underneath the book or underneath that piece. Someone here needs to also like take care of their body in relation to vegetables. So I'm hearing selenium. Someone here is not drinking enough like fruit juice for some reason, or they used to do it all the time and they're not doing it anymore. That's really, really specific for somebody. Someone also needs to like recognize that they need to eat more vegetables. Colorful. Look at the colors that you're eating. The things that you're eating, they're going to look like the rainbow. There's a need for you to also come back to self, because the 6 is also not only about relationships, it's about your body, it's about your personal development as well. It's definitely a Virgo type energy. There's someone that needs to look at how they're treating their body, digestive system specifically. There's something you were told about how you're supposed to eat something, or when you're supposed to eat something, and how varied it is, and you're not doing it, and you need to do that. Someone also here is afraid of pursuing certain things like vegetables and stuff because they're expensive, and you're like, nah, I don't have the money for that. You do have the money for that, and you need to take care of yourself, okay? There's a priority or a prioritization that Spirit wants to give you to the things for your body, and seeing how Spirit provides those things for you. Don't worry about the cost. With this particular group, don't worry about the cost. If it's good for you and good for your soul and you're drawn to it, you need to get it. Someone here also likes, like it's specifically up here, I'm seeing like a cucumber. Someone here either loves doing them or using them in some form or fashion, and Spirit's highlighting that for someone so they believe this message. That's really funny. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Spirit? Someone here is also into gardening and they need to continue gardening. They might have put it off. It's the winter, definitely putting it off makes sense, huh? I wonder why Spirit wants to highlight that for you. Someone here thinks something is too tedious or too strenuous, and they need to understand that the reason why it's strenuous is your mindset. Someone here thinks that something is too hard, but it's actually what they like doing. It's just too hard to get past certain energies, certain people, yourself. Someone's feeling like they're their own worst enemy here. They've created a tower that's so tall that now they're trying to like push it back. They're like, hold up, wait a minute, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that, Spirit. Like they feel like literally like, oh, they've learned so much and they know what to do now, and it's so encroaching on their it's like a weight on their shoulders, but it's meant for you to do it. So someone here is trying to deny, in essence, something that they know they should be doing, and Spirit here is trying to tell you to do it. Your ancestors are with you because the red reminds me of them. You need to work on also developing your root chakra and also getting a stronger balance or trunk. So someone here is working on their body as well. Someone here needs to also incorporate more red, because I keep getting this idea and this understanding of the color red and of colors in general. Maybe you use them for mediumship, and Spirit wants you to focus and highlight on the color red. Take a stab at it is what Spirit's saying. Take a stab at it. Someone here is into food, because I'm just hearing a lot about food. Take a stab at it. Start doing it. Start creating something. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the collective here, Spirit? Excuse me, I'm burping. So we have the Seven of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and the Five of Cups here. Someone here needs to stop depending on what they have, like literally looking at their bank account and saying, I have like 10 bucks. I can only use $2 for ads, and I need to use like the rest of it for food, and $1 for like construction supplies if I can find them, or maybe find them for free. Someone's kind of lacking in the sense of what they have to give to the collective or to their craft. Someone needs to stop looking at it that way. Someone thinks that like, oh no, I have to be very like, I have to pinch pennies in order to get and acquire what I want to get here. But there's a need for you to recognize that you don't have, or you have not lost anything. Anything that looks like it is lost is not really lost. I feel like someone needs to really focus on the Five of Cups here to see that as they're walking through the waters with tears in their eyes. They've seen loss, they've seen issues, they've seen lack in so many ways, but never feel like you are less than because of the lack. It feels like you have to look at your self-worth and see that you're worthy of the things that are coming, and the things that you can afford. Don't let that make you feel like you're less than. It feels like even if you have maybe $2 or like a couple of dollars to your name, don't feel like that makes you less than in terms of your enterprise, and that you have to start small. Sometimes things come out of sometimes things that are beautiful come out of very difficult places, like the lotus. Someone here needs to look at the lotus flower to see how it grows, to understand that what grows out of that is beautiful, and that you are a lotus. You are a lotus. I'm also hearing white lotus, so some of you guys are involved or interested in like, you like Avatar, The Last Airbender, because I'm hearing like White Lotus. Think about that. Think about the group, the White Lotus in Avatar. How they're a smaller group of highly specialized benders from each of the elements, and yet they're calling themselves a lotus for a reason. Okay? Spirit wants to highlight the Chariot, the King of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, and the Star to you guys, because that fell out just now. There's so much increase, so much coming to you with the King of Pentacles that you're not going to expect. there's a level of stardom and a level of favor. That's the word that keeps coming through. That is going to be shown to you. And you're not going to realize it or expect it. It's going to bring about, and it's going to bring about a lot of stability. Number 17, the star. It adds up to 8 numerologically. So that's about it happening quickly for you. Spirit also wanted to highlight these 2 cards. We have the 7 of Cups and the Knave of Swords. You've already looked into things and researched and tried to develop your skill sets by researching and looking at other people and observing them. There's a need for you to allow yourself to create something out of that and to hold a level of peace, of dignity with that, of allowing people to be who they are and allowing yourself to be who you are and being and coexisting with that and creating something beautiful and courageous is what I'm hearing. Strength is coming out strong for you guys. Number 11. Something may have happened as well in November for you guys that was very impactful. I'm hearing November 23, so something this November is going to be very impactful for you. So maybe some of you will even see this in November of 2023 as well. I find that the lessons that I've learned and the time in which I share them, a lot of people tend to see them later on, and that's okay. So maybe this will be something that you'll see them. That keeps coming out. This energy of the 10 of Wands. It's ending for you guys. 10 is all about something ending. That feeling of feeling overwhelmed, of feeling... Someone here is also doing a task on their own and they feel overwhelmed. They feel overwhelmed with starting a venture or doing or pursuing an enterprise, and it's been coming slowly for them. Don't slow down, but recognize that it's going to be picking up for you, but the burden of it will not be shared, will not be just on you, but will be shared with a number of other people, okay? So whatever it is that you're doing right now may feel burdensome, and you may not see the effects of it, but there are people that are going to lessen the burden and your yoke, and you're going to be able to do greater things even than that. And here the 10 of Cups is here. So you guys have nothing to worry about. What else is coming through? Stay out of your head and allow yourself to act on what you're feeling. Act on what you're feeling and what you've been kind of ruminating over, okay? Is there anything else you'd like to say, Spirit? Anything else, Spirit, guys? And this will be what we finish with today, okay? We have here burden. And what do we have? Abundance. So you guys have so much to look forward to. You've had so much on your shoulders. With the 10 of Wands, that makes a lot of sense for that burden that you've been carrying. But look at what you're producing with these I Ching coins. You're producing so much abundance for yourself, and it's going to be collectively in threes. Someone here is going to be seeing and highlighting, their life is highlighting the number 3. Okay? So I love you guys. You're doing great. You're not going to be doing this forever. This feeling, this overwhelming feeling of feeling burdened by something is not going to stay. You are not taking this on your own. Your guides are with you. Your angels are with you. Submit to the understanding that they have your back and that you are going to be lifted up, is what I'm hearing. You're going to lift others up with what you've done and what you've experienced, okay? So look forward to the abundance that is coming through these new friends, this soul tribe, and through this new adventure as well. So I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.